Hi guys, I decided to do a follow-up uh, video about the classic squad leader scenario, the Bitche Salient scenario 8, um, just because I felt like it, so we'll be doing it. Last time we left off at the end of turn 1, the ally turn 1, and now the decision to be made is where will these forces enter? They can enter anywhere along either the south or north edge, either somewhere around here or from here, but not both. It was the bottom of turn 1, so we can remove all the moves and flip this counter and go to rally phase. And the first thing you really want to do though is begin a log file. So let's just pick that and go in there and put log01.vlog, and that will ensure that you'll have a log file by the end of the turn. Now, there were some comments made on the other video that the US player was not allowed to set up adjacent to one another, and that's a mistake that I did, but we'll carry on with this error and see what happens. Now, as you can recall, the, um, the scenario in the classic game is to um, uh, get the most amount of inflict the most amount of casualties on your opponent, whereas on the ASL game, it's to ensure that this road has a clear LOS, free of German uh, any German units being able to interdict the road. Okay, so it's rally phase, and the first thing we have to do is make sure we have radio contact. So the uh, German player needs to roll a 9 or less, and he has it. And the American player, I believe it's Medro, he has to roll a 11 or less, and he gets it. Now they can switch their spotting rounds to fire for effect, and he'll do that. So increase, and he'll leave it there, and Kelso will increase it as well and correct it there. This is a free LOS check, so if we do a LOS check from here to there, great. So that will affect these hexes here, not that one. Okay. Um, Again, do we come in from here, from there? Keeping in mind that the American player will come in through here. All right, so we're gonna come in through here. So you can load up a passenger. I don't have to pre-designate the hexes like in ASL, but I need to get them ready. And these guys can only hold 5 portage points. So I will put 2 LMGs, that A squad and Walzenberger there, and then 2 LMGs again in there, a squad, and a leader. The reason why I'm putting 2 LMGs is because they can fire the LMGs from the half squads. And in the classic game, if your squad breaks, it basically has to abandon its support weapon. Alright, so it says anywhere along the south or north edge. And it's not specific to a road. Let's double check that. Let's double check that quickly. I'll pause the video, double check. Yep, so it's anywhere. Great, great. I was worried about one thing, having to move the units through exposed territory. Um, so let's put another two support weapons, a squad, and that in there. Is there one Panzerfaust or three Panzerfaust? Unlike in ASL, the Panzerfaust is an actual counter. Three. Okay, three Panzerfausts. So there we have um, two trucks, and this is 5 portage points, and 5 portage points. You can carry 7. Um, I'll give him 2 Panzerfausts. Okay, and then actually the 2 Panzerfausts go with the heavy. Yep, and then 1 medium machine gun, a Panzerfaust. Here with the heavy, I will put a squad, of course, another squad, and with a heavy, we're going to put a leader. And this leader will be used to extend the movement of these units here. Okay. Okay. And I have something in store for them. Now, let's say it's prep fire. Advance wheel. This is a 80 millimeter. So the 80 millimeter is a 12. So again, in squad leader, if you're in woods, you get a -1 modifier, but here you get a +1 modifier. So we'll do, let's see, this unit here first. Okay, so I need something lower than an 8 actually. 7 plus 1 is 8. On the 12 is a 1 morale check, so he needs to roll 5 or less. He breaks. Had I done a KIA, it would have cleared the wire. There you go. Medro, the hex where Medro's in. We roll again. That's a 4. Plus 1 is a 5. On the 12, that's a 2 morale check, so Medro needs an 8 or less. Actually 6 or less. He makes it, so now the squad needs it's a 2 morale check, so up 1, down 1, 5 or less, and squad breaks. Now the squad with the light machine gun. Yep, let's roll for that. 3 plus 1 is a 4, that's a 3 morale check, so he needs a 3 or less. And doesn't make it. So this is pretty interesting. And now we can reduce that to 1. So this is like a user label that I use to remind myself how many fire missions are left. The US has an 80 millimeter with 4 fire missions. That won't go down until defensive fire. More defensive prep fire. This unit here in 2W7 will fire there at 6 up 1. Rolls an 8, 9, so that's nothing. Let's get our prep fire markers. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Here. And let's put that prep fire marker there. Before we lose these guys, we're going to form a fire group, and let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Question is, do we split them up? Or do we fire group and try and take out Thornton? I think taking out Thornton might be a good idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And maybe not. Alright, we'll split them up. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will be an 8 up one from here to there. Six on the 8 is a 1 morale check, so the leader first needs a 7 or less. Breaks. Squad needs a 5 or less. Yep. Breaks, and now we have to take a leader lost morale check because there are no task checks in this game. And he makes it. I need a 6 on the other one. Let's see down here. The leader didn't break. Awesome. He has prep fired, and now I just saw, and he did have clear LOS. We'll double check it, but it's pretty clear. And this guy has a clear LOS to him at range 7 hexes. So it's a 2, and a 2, it's a 4 up 1. Let's see what happens there. Whoa. 5 on the 4 is a 1 morale check, so the squad down here fired here, and I fired there, and he prep fired. He needs a 5 or less, and he breaks. So that's axis turn 1 movement phase. Oop. Advance the wheel. Okay, movement phase. Do I have anybody else to prep fire? Yeah, okay, also, but where would he be able to fire? He cannot fire up here, and he definitely cannot fire here. He cannot fire at any of these units here. I'm pretty sure the here the LOS is blocked by the woods. Yeah, it's a learning scenario, so let's just double check that. I don't think he has pretty much an LOS to anything. He's blocked here, he's blocked there, and he's blocked there. But not blocked there. Wow. So I'll take a shot there. What the heck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he has a 4 and a 4, 8 even on those dudes. 7, it's another 1 morale check. So they need a 5. That squad needs a 5 or less, or they're gone. 6, he's gone. So eliminate that and unbreak the guy and put him in the graveyard. And he prep fired. Okay. On to movement. So anywhere in the north. Ooh, he forgot to try and repair the weapon, so let's do that now. 1, nothing. 2, oh, one of the MGs is repaired. And there's no possession in this game, unlike in regular squad leader. So he will enter from here. It is movement phase. Position him properly. So this is a 1 to there. Now, if you remove the marked moved and do a movement trail, where's movement trail? There you go. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, undo that, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. I should get to him within 6 or less X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 1 more for good measure, and we're 7. That should be okay. Alright. That's all she wrote for him. Okay. And Welzenberger, he's going to start up here actually. So we'll leave the passengers to the side for clarity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now he can choose to fire at him with the MMG on the side. He would need a -3, and he gets a -5 modifier. Let's roll. That won't do it because it ends up at 1 and it needs a -3 to kill him. So I believe it was a 13, 14, 15, and he cannot unload. There you go. And he is defensive for only support weapons. I'm just going to put it on the side there. Okay. Next, these guys will follow him. Oh yeah. Stetus will follow. We'll just bring him up here. He only had 1 LMG. No other unit has an LMG or another support weapon I can fire, so he will follow on to there. Change the covered arc to there. So basically that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. He still can't unload. Okay. However, he's pretty powerful. Shaw is pretty powerful. Pretty powerful. That would be a 16 even on Stites if he were to occupy that building. Kind of makes me wonder why I didn't advance the Stug past Midro. Anyhow, there's one more armored fighting vehicle. and we'll clone the um, bazooka and see what the fire table looks like. Okay, great. Okay, they're gonna come in CX or CE. From up here. So that's a 1. Two, 3. It's cover arc facing. And there you go. Now the 2 trucks, they're going to come in from here. So this is a 1, actually half, 1, 1.5, 2, 3. Now in the classic game, I don't have to incur a movement factor for changing my covered arc, but in ASL, and in order for me to turn, that would have been 3, 4, 5. So, but I'm still at 3. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, 13, and we drop them off here. Great stuff. Okay. We're gonna try, for education purposes, try and bring that truck up a hill, and see how we fare. Okay, so a half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, and 6, 6.5, 7, 8. Now to go up the hill, it is 4 plus cost of terrain. So that would be 6 for the cost of terrain plus 4 is 10. So let's see where it went. A half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that would be 18. 18, and nothing in the rulebook says I cannot unload and into higher terrain. 18, 19, 20. Correct me if I'm wrong. This fellow, they can carry the medium machine gun because the leader can impart one portage point to the squad, and the medium is usually 4 portage points. Let's double check that. Medium, yep, 4. Alright, so this is a half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. So during the advance phase, he can safely cover this road, even with a... Oops, he didn't have any Panzerfausts. Oh well. And then these guys go for half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and 4. And these guys will follow behind. So that's my movement, defensive fire. Well, this guy is DM, but let's settle this first. So here would be a 12 plus 4 for OBA. If you look at the entrenchment, flip, OBA is plus 4 artillery. Alright, and overrun. Okay, flip again, so 12 up 4. That's a 10. On the 12 chart, it's a miss. Now on the leader here, 12 up 1, 10 on the 12, that's another miss, and then now here, a 12 up 4. That's a 10 again. I missed by 1. So now we can decrement 80 millimeter by 1 fire mission. There's 3 left. Typically these are supposed to be secret, but you know, doing a delayed note and all that, well, it's a thought. Is there a delayed note here? Somewhere there is. Don't remember exactly where. I thought there was. Or maybe I'm confused with Advanced Squad Leader. Oh well. If there are any programmers out there that want to update this module, by all means contact somebody like Scott Bramley and tell him your qualifications, and maybe you can help out another fellow that's trying to improve it. Alright, defensive fire. I think this fellow here, this squad here, can defensive fire on one of these 2 stacks. So let's take a look. Alright, yeah, of course they can. So he's not broken. Range of 6. So it's a 6 up 2. Let's see what happens. That's nothing. That's a 10. Ah, so he defensive fired. 16 firepower factors. Even on here. So let's see if there's LOS. Yep. 16 even. 10 on the 16 is a morale check. Squad here needs a 7 or less. Makes it. Yeah, he defensive fired. They don't seem to have LOS, but he does. And he also has a bazooka. He is... we don't care about backblast in normal squad leader. See now, unlike the vassal module, you have to clear everything, and he is in a building. But again, in classic squad leader, there's no backblast. So he is 1, 2, 3 hexes away, firing during the defensive fire phase. It's a 6 to hit. Hits. That would now make it a 6 even. I'm not too sure if you have to add a tem. Even if I added a tem of +2, it would have been a 5. So that's all great and dandy. 6 even. 7 on the 6 table is a morale check, so he needs a 7 or less. And he breaks. And now the squad can fire his inherent firepower of 6 up 2. 8 on the 6 is a miss. And he defensive fired. Great. He defensive fired. That's awesome. That guy's crew exposed. And the range is 8. So he has a 2 up 2. 5, 6, 7 on the 2. It's a miss. And he defensive fired. He already defensive fired. Inherent firepower. Why not? That's check. But I doubt there's LOS to here. So let's check it. And we called it. We'll fire the inherent firepower. And nope. There, it touches here. Okay. Right, so he did defensive fire. There's, oops, put that there. There you go. So far so good. Yep. Okay, so let's go to advancing fire phase. Advance wheel. And first and foremost, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there is no MMG. We have there an 8. The squad is halved twice, so that's a 1. The machine guns are halved once, makes a 3, so it's a 2 even against these guys. Oh, and both LMGs have malfunctioned. And unlike ASL, they can try and repair both of them, I believe. Alright, here. So he advance fired. Here, my Stu can not fire his main armament, but he can fire his MMGs at them. Right. Okay. So it is a 2 up 1. And that's nothing. He advance fired, and these guys have no LOS to anyone. That's basically it. Right. So that is advancing fire phase. Now we advance the wheel to route phase, and we can remove all fire. I like the all fire and this module and the all moves. Alright, German player routes first. He will route down to there, and he leaves his weapon behind. Again, this is a diametrical change compared to ASL. The leader, he is in rally terrain, but he's sure to be fired upon again in the next phase, so he'll just rally back once. This guy, this squad here can rally back to he is in rally terrain. He may route because he was fired upon. There you go. And this fellow can route back 1 hex as well. That's that. This fellow, I believe he can route off the wire, but he can't route into the wire. Okay. Alright, so this will now decrease to a spotting round. This will decrease to a spotting round as well. You can't route onto wire, so he has to pretty much stay where he is. And this fellow can stay where he is as well, because it, well, I'm not too sure if he can route back or not. But that's another story. Alright, so he routed and they routed. Advance phase. Okay. In terms of advance, I'd like to advance him to here. Unfortunately, I did not take any support weapons with me. These guys are in a trench, and just for purposes of clarity, I'm keeping them up above the trench. And these fellows can advance one square, or one hex. Where do I find squares? Alright, there you are. And do we want to advance them? No. Advance him? No, he can stay pretty much where he is. And that will bring us to close combat phase. And we're close to ending this video. As you can see, I'm pretty much have a pincer movement on the American forces here. He'll have to do some quick thinking in terms of whether he should stay or should he go. Most likely, if I was in his position, I would advance one. I'd rather take fire from, let's see, well, would I advance one? There's 12 firepower factors if he advances into the woods here, and 75 is an 8 up 1, and then a subsequent fire of 6 up 1 if he stays there. Perhaps an alternative would be to go to the blind hex and then move up here. But then subsequent to that, he won't have LOS to the hills here, but he probably will have LOS to this hex here. And the German player can counter that by rallying this unit and moving him up here. It's a good thing Mueller is there. I would try to advance Mueller closer to these squads, and in the following turn I would probably be able to move off the wire and advance into here. So he has a lot of thinking to do, and he can still exert some formidable firepower, and he would probably be in a position to hold these guys off, and the best they could muster would be an 8 minus 1 if I moved Waltzberger in there, but not before Shaw has a shot on him at 16 even, which is considerable amount of firepower. If the German player subsequently decides to go into the woods, it would be a -1 modifier. So bunching up those machine guns like that gives you the opportunity to amass firepower. Now usually what we like to do at this point of the game is go to more, take a picture of turn 1B, name that as PNG there, and file save game as vsav. Okay, and end your log file. Log file written. So pretty interesting turn. They're in a position to cover advancing squads that probably could come up around here through the road hexes. Same goes for here. He has a medium. I managed miraculously to advance another medium machine gun and a squad up the hill, which is great. They are in a bit of a jam because they cannot self-rally, unlike ASL. Medro, though, is still a going concern. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll continue with a solo play and plenty of commentary and some comparison to ASL as much as I can. But the classic game in itself is great, and that's why it was ported to ASL as well. It's one of the most enjoyable games or scenarios in Squad Leader, in basic Squad Leader that was designed. And it's very challenging for the Germans, but at the same token, if you set up a good defense, um, it's quite a challenge for the Americans as well to fire upon you and score kills. I hope you found this video interesting, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Take care.